Yesterday we saw in KATHOPANISHAD that divine consciousness shines by itself. To know the indriyarthas, mind is required. To know the mind, buddhi is required. To know the buddhi, mahati buddhi is required. To know mahata buddhi, shanta buddhi is required. To know the shanta buddhi, nothing is required. It is aware as it is. To see the objects in the world, we need the eyes. For the eyes to understand those objects, we need the vision, faculty of vision. And that vision is analyzed through our mind, the data collection. And mind is understood by the buddhi as to this is a boy or a girl or a tree or an animal. And this buddhi itself gets its power from the greater cosmic mind, what we called as mahati buddhi or hiranyagarbha. And from that mind also has emerged, it is being watched over by the Parabrahman. And who is watching Parabrahman? Nobody. This is what is called as Drigadrishya Viveka. Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drig. When all the objects in the world are the sights to be seen, eyes are the seers. Then when this becomes the sight, eyes becomes the sight, who is watching that? Drig evatu manasam. Tadrishyam drug evatu manasam. When eyes become the sight, mind is the seer. It's watching the eyes. Then drishyam dhrivrittasya sakshi. Of these vagaries and the movements of the mind, including buddhi, who is watching it? A sakshi, a witness is watching it. There it's called as sakshi, the witness. Who is watching the witness? Drug eva na tu drishyate. Nobody is watching the witness. Suppose an incident happens somewhere. Two people were playing and they had a fight. Now the teacher has been called to settle the issue. The one who was fighting with the other, they will have their own stories to tell. But to tell what these two people were doing, we need a witness, a third person. And that witness tells what these people were up to and whose fault it was. He is being watched by somebody? No. He was the only person available at the site who saw the two children, whatever, engaging in a quarrel. So this person is, nobody has seen this person seeing these people. Like that, Atman watches everything. It is Sakshi. And what does it watch? Atman watches the buddhi, buddhi watches the mind watches the senses, sense faculties, they watch the objects through the senses. But who watches this Atman? Nobody watches. Then how does Atman is there? How do we know? By becoming that only you know that. And what is this power by which with it sees its own power? There is no separate power to reveal this. It reveals itself through its own power. Like sun reveals itself through its own power of light. We don't need another light to put it on sun to see that sun exists. For moon to exist, we need light of sun. If sunlight is not there, like in Amavasya, when earth's shadow is falling on the moon, then you are not able to see the moon. But when earth's shadow is not falling on the moon and the moon is able to receive the light from the sun, it becomes visible. So by looking at the moon, we always know that sun exists. Because moon does not have a light of its own. If moon is still shining, it means sun is shining somewhere. Though we cannot see the sun, yet we can infer from the shining of the moon that sun does exist. Mind is shining because of the power of Atman. And because mind is shining, we can see the senses and objects. So that is the idea. That's why it said, Chandrama manaso jataha, chaksho suryo jayata, it is said. Chandrama is born out of the mind of the Purusha. And the chaksha, from the eyes were born the sun. Idea is that eyes were born means not the physical eyes, the ability to see because of the light that it has, sun has. And what does it give? It gives light to the moon, which is the mind. And malo moolam idam jagat. So therefore the mind sees the jagat. This is the connection between all the three. So can mind see the Atman back? No. It's not possible. Because mind is seen by the Atman. Mind cannot see the Atman. So what is the way to see the Atman? Remove the mind, because mind is the obstacle and what is left is Atman only. So mind is the reason why we are not able to experience the presence of Atman. It's like a cupboard. Suppose a cloud comes and covers the sun, like Chandra Grahana we see, like that Surya Grahana also we see. What happens in Surya Grahana? Moon comes and covers the sun, so we cannot see the sun. So what has happened? Mind has covered the sun. We are not able to see the sun. And we think mind is shining. No, mind is not shining. Mind does not have a power of its own. Because sun shines, therefore mind shines. Because mind shines, so all the senses shine. Because all the senses are shining, we are experiencing the world. So that is why na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam na ima vidyato kutovya agnihi. That is what the vidyuta is also not there. Lightning is not there. Fire is not there. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhanti. As it shines, everything else shines. And because it shines, everything else shines. How? Because it shines, everything else shines. And as it shines, everything else shines. So that is the idea that unless Atman is there in us, we cannot experience anything. So that is why Upanishad keeps on saying, Pratibodha viditam matam amrutatvam hi vindate. The one who sees the Atman in every experience of life, Pratibodha, in every experience of life, matam, understands what idam, this one particular. Pratibodha viditam, understands matam, that and experiences the presence of Brahman. Amrutatvam hi vindate. He attains amrutatva, immortality. Because he is experiencing the presence of Brahman in every single aspect of life and its experience. So very fact that you are alive, it means Brahman is alive. Like that, all the love in the world belongs only to God. And how do you know God loves you? Because you love God. That is a clear reflection that God loves you. How do you know moon is shining? Because sun is shining somewhere. That's why moon is shining. So every experience of our life is because God is. And there is no other proof required. The very fact that we are, it means God is. If God wasn't there, we won't be there. So this is a very important shloka and you must memorize it and remember always that all this is shining because that Atman is shining. And just the way Atman is shining, that is the way we all are shining. We are not shining different from the Atman. But because of our costumes and this thing called mind, like a filter, it filters the sunlight, which is pure colorless light, into different colors. And then that's why munde matir bhinna. Everybody looks different, thinks different, eats different, likes different things, does different things. Only because of the mind which has filtered the pure sunlight into colorful reflections. But if you go a little beyond the mind, break that colorful glass, you see bright sun is there. So that is the idea. So in our mind, we must be very clear about this concept. That all the differences that we see in the world is seen because of the light of the sun, in the sense, because of the Atman only. But why do we see things differently? Because everybody's mind, which is composition of Rajoguna, Tamoguna and Sattva-guna, accordingly colors. You see, when we have these colors, there is a color code is there, RBG it's called, red, blue, green. And all the colors are produced by combinations of RBG. Likewise, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna produce all the colors of life. Somebody is a musician, somebody is an educationist, somebody is a social servant, somebody is a thug and a thief, somebody is a politician, because of their Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Sattva-guna's proportions. And that is why Atman looks different in each of them. This person definitely Atman is not there because he is so evil. Not possible. His evilness is also because of somewhere behind there is an Atman, therefore he is able to be an evil person. But why he became an evil person even though the Shuddha Chaitanya is only flowing? Because of the filter of the mind which is evil. He has got too much of Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Therefore he is unable to express in the purest way. But in a plain clear glass, if it is there, then everything comes as it is. Sunlight comes directly as sunlight. It doesn't get filtered. But if it passes through a colored glass, dirty glass, it will make shadows and colored reflections. So to this extent only the world's truth is there. That is why Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Why all the world we see is an illusion because of his gunas. The truth is that the light which is passing through all these glasses is one and the same. From the same sun, it is always pure. It is never tainted or contaminated or becomes dirty or holy. All these examples we saw yesterday. So today we are entering the last part of the Kathopanishad, chapter 2 and Valli 3. So the last Valli, and it starts off with a concept. If you notice all the last 3 chapters in the second part, they all start off with a big concept. The first one was Vritam Pibantu Sukrutasya Loke. to live inside this body which understands. So that was one philosophy. Jivatma, Paramatma philosophy was there. That was one there. Then before we entered in this one, there was Puram Ekadashadwaram Ajasya Avakrachetasaha. That was there. That in this Purusha is there, who lives in the 11 gated city. So that was one concept that was introduced. Another concept is being introduced here. It's called Urdhva Mulo Avakshakha Esho Ashwatha Sanatanaha Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma Tad Evamruta Muchyate Tasmin Lokaha Shritaha Sarve Tadu Na Atyeti Kaschana Etad Vai Tad. So this is another explanation for the presence of Brahman. So many ways they are explaining. Now you will be wondering why he needs to go on explaining in so many ways. You keep shooting. One of them will at least hit the target. With that hope you keep shooting. That's how it is. So one of these ideas will at least get inside your head. And because of that you will start meditating on this idea, and that may redeem you. Mananat trayate. Some one idea should at least touch your mind. With that concept it goes on explaining in different ways. Like a good teacher gives so many examples. At least one example will stick to your head. When I was giving the previous example, you were sleeping. The next example, you were dreaming. Third example, maybe you are awake, so you will at least listen. So the teacher goes on repeating. Like that, this Shruti Mata it is called. This is mother. Shruti is called mother. We have got 5 mothers. You know 5 mothers? You thought we are only one mother? No. Ganesha was the son of 2 mothers, they say. Dvai Maturaya. We are Panchamaturayas. We are born of 5 mothers. One mother is, of course, you all know. Your own physical Deha Mata, who has given birth to your body. The second mother is Bhumata, because once you stop feeding from your mother's breast, next thing you eat is whatever comes out of the earth. Or Gomata comes in between, because mother's milk stops, then cow's milk begins. And after that, we have Bhumata, because we start eating, Anna Prashna happens, and now we start eating some food from outside, which is born out of earth. So Mother Earth feeds us. Therefore Mother Earth. Bhumata. Then if we just eat and sleep and grow, then we are no better than animals. Ahara nidra bhaya maithuna. So some buddhi, vidya vihinam pashubhis samanah, this says. Some vidya has to get inside our head. So who teaches us? Veda Mata. Shruti Mata it is called. It is teaching us the things of life in various ways. Apara also it teaches. Paravidya also teaches. So in old times, Apara Vidya was basically Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvana Veda, Shiksha, Kalpo, Vyakaram, Niruktam, Jyotisham, Chandamiti. That is what is said in Mundaka Upanishad. All this is Apara Vidya. Because in old times, the only Vidya that we were supposed to read was how to do yajnas and yagas for Brahmins. The very methodical system was for Brahmins to learn. For other castes, people had their own system to learn. Father will teach the son, son will teach the next generation, and this is how the Vidya was passed on. So Apara Vidya is also coming from the Shruti Mata, and greater than Apara Vidya, Para Vidya comes from Shruti Mata. This is what is mentioned in Mundaka Upanishad. What is the Para Vidya? That one which takes us to Tad Aksharam Adhigamyate. That which takes us to the ultimate Akshara, means indestructible. Everything else is destroyed. Whatever Apara Vidya teaches us, today it is there, tomorrow it is gone. Para Vidya remains forever. So that which takes us to that indestructible Brahman, that state of existence which cannot be destroyed further, that one is called as Paravidya. So both are taught by the Vedas. Therefore it's called Veda Mata or Shruti Mata it is called. But that is not enough. There is one more Mata beyond that. We are all born of what? Ultimately from the divine Brahman only we have come. So therefore ultimately the Deva Mata we call. Deva Mata means that divine mother. In our Vedanta, they call it as Brahman. No, Brahman is not a male nor a female. We call it a male because we are used to using this he everywhere. But if you use she, that also is equally true. So if you go to Tripura Rahasya, or you go to our Lalita Sahasranamam, anything which is Shaktya branch of school of philosophy, you will see they will take this all highest to the Devi, the mother. So from that point of view, the 5th mother is Deva Mata. Now if we are just responsible all the time, people keep crying, my mother, my mother, my mother. Which mother? Physical mother is all that you are worried about. What about your Gomata, means the environment, the animals in the environment who are also helping you? What about the earth? which is feeding you? What about the Vedas, which have to be also looked after? And what about the Atma Jnana, which is the ultimate offering to the Deva Mata? What about all that? Are you having responsibility towards other mothers or not is the question. Then you must say yes. So in the whole scheme of things, your personal physical mother is one of the many. But all the time we are obsessed with only one mother, without realizing that we have 4 more mothers. For all the other animals, 3 mothers are there. At least their physical mother is there. If they are drinking cow's milk, let us say a cat or a pet or anything else, that's fine. And the Bhumata, whatever comes out of the earth. But for us, 5 matas are there. Veda Mata is also there and Daiva Mata. But how do we go? We are born in the Garbhaja, in the womb of the physical mother. And from there, where we go? We go to the cow's milk. So we are going out. So first is physical birth. Next is your nourishment. Third is your growth. Fourth is your intelligence. And fifth only is going to be your Atman. Now think from that point of view. Mother gives you, physical mother gives you birth, Annamaya Kosha, one body is born out of that mother's body. Then cow sustains us, Pranamaya Kosha, it helps us to remain alive. Even when mother's food is over, cow feeds us. And then after that comes the Bhumata. So think of it, Bhu means Bhuta, all the elements that are there, which are all a part of our mind. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Earth has all the 5 elements. Shabda is for the Akasha, Sparsha it's for the Vayu. Then Agni, Rupa, Jala is the Rasa and Artha is Gandha. But Earth has all the 5 in it. Therefore Bhumata means Bhuloka and the Bhuta, Panchabhutas are there. So that is consists of our Manomaya Kosha, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. And then what happens? Veda Mata. She teaches us Buddhi. Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. That is what Gayatri Mantra says. What is Gayatri Mata? Chandasam Mata, Gayatri. All the Vedas put together, their mother is Gayatri. So Gayatri Mata is our Veda Mata. And this Veda Mata teaches us how to lead a life like a good human. Otherwise we'll be animal only so far. A better animal, that's all. Now only the real education, Vidya Vihinam Pashubhissanam Samana, they say. Now Vidya starts. Veda Mata teaches us. So how grateful we should be. And after we have learnt all these Vedas, what is the idea? Apara we have learned and also para. Only para will take us to Deva Mata. The ultimate realization that we are the children of immortality. Shrunvantu Vishwe Amrutasya Putraha, says the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Listen, O children of immortality. They're not saying listen, O children of Jersey cow or Nati cow. They're not even saying listen, O children of India or America. Not even saying listen, O children of Vedas, Aparavidya and Paravidya children. No. They're saying listen, O children of immortality. That is Deva Mata who has given us an immortal birth as human. So that also, so you cannot just say, I am very good child because I am very good to my mother and I take care of her and take care that she's never sad and things like that. Yes, then 20% of responsibility only you have fulfilled. There are 4 more mothers that you have to fulfill your responsibility towards. And that is the reason why Veda Mata is considered, Shruti Mata is considered very compassionate. Because she tells us in so many ways the truth. Ekam sat vipra bhaudha vadante. Why? Because one way at least it will get inside our head. Otherwise we will forget one and next time we will be confused. So they keep telling us Shruti, so many Upanishads, so many granthas are there. So many people have given the same knowledge in so many different ways. For the simple reason, this is like the mother's compassion. We say the Shruti Mata's compassion. That she is always trying to teach us. And even when we are not interested, we find it difficult, she makes it easy. If we can't understand, she sends Rishi, Munis, Gurus to teach us. But she doesn't stop her work. She goes on making us learn. So that is the beauty of Veda Mata. And of course, Deva Mata, she has all the patience in the world and beyond. Because we don't learn anything despite births and births and births of making mistakes. Pramadhyante, Vitta Mudhena. Vitta Chittena Mudha, whatever. That is, we keep making the same mistakes. Every birth we come, every birth start again. Get attached to the physical parents, then get attached to your name, position, education. friends, relations, every birth we make the same mistake. Yet the Devamata patiently deals with us. That, okay, someday at least they will learn and understand the truth of their existence. So in that series, another example comes in Kathopanishad now. This example, the moment we hear, we will also be reminded of the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where this example has been used, called Purushottama Yoga. The very first opening shloka there also is similar. So he says here, what is he saying? He is talking about a tree. What kind of a tree? Which species? Ashwatha tree, it says. Ashwatha means people tree. We have some people tree inside the ashram also, if you go and see. Ashwatha tree. Why he did not say banyan tree? Why he didn't say a mango tree? Why he did not think it should be called as a neem tree or tamarind tree? Why it has to be Ashwatha only? There is a reason. See, Ashwatha, if you break the word, A means not, Shwaha means tomorrow, Thaha means is. Ashwatha means which will not be there tomorrow. Remember, Shvobhava Martyasya Yadanta Kaitad Sarvendriyanam Jarayanti Tejaha, says Nachiketa Devi. Shvobhava, Shva means tomorrow, Abhava means it won't be there. Shva Abhava, same thing, Ashwatha, that which won't be there tomorrow. Therefore, this tree is called Ashwatha. So it's not to be directly physically thought of as the people tree, it is to be understood as that tree which seems to be here today but won't be there tomorrow. Now, what is this example of this tree? Very strange tree it is. What is the thing? Urdhva Mulo, its roots are upwards. Generally what happens? Roots should be downwards and it grows upwards. Plants eat from below and grow above. Animal eats from front and grow behind. And we eat from top and grow below. So this particular tree is very strange. Against the norm, it grows from above, its roots are above and its branches are below. Avak Shakha, its branches are below. What kind of tree is this? How does it grow from above is the question. And this one is called Ashwatha tree, which does not exist. Sanatana, but has been existing forever. Look at the paradox. Whenever there is paradox coming in our scriptures, no, we are talking about a higher truth. Because higher truth always seems to be the opposites. Tadde jati, tanne jati, tad dure, tadantike, yada iha, tadamutra, yada mutra, tadan iha. Means which is here, that is there, which is there. All these opposites when we are talking, know that there is some subtle truth is coming out. It's not ordinary truth. So Ashwatha tree that grows upward, from up to down. And what else? It is Ashwatha, seemingly not existent, but Sanatana, it exists, it seems, forever. There was never a time it did not exist. So Bhagavad Gita talks about this tree. What is the tree? It says, Urdhva Moolam Adashakam Ashwatha Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavit. It says its roots are above, branches are below. This is called as Ashwatha tree, Avyayam. It has always been there. It never died, they say. Then what else is there? He says, Chandamsi, all the Vedas are its leaves. This is from Gita I am saying. Chandamsi Veda, Chandamsi Yasya Parnani, Yastam Veda Savedavid. And the one who comes to know about this tree comes to know about everything. Think of that. How do you identify a tree, you tell me, if there are no fruits and flowers? How do you identify a tree? Ask the botanists, they'll tell you. With the leaves they identify the tree. With the leaves only they can identify the tree. They say this is a people leaf. So the leaves are like the Vedas, it is saying. See how significant? Because through Veda you can know the nature of this tree. Saveda, with the one who comes to know of these leaves which are Chandamsi Yasya Parnani. The leaves are the Chandas, means all the Veda mantras and Veda Shastras. The one who comes to know of this will come to know of the tree. Very strange tree. That is how Bhagavad Gita starts. And what else Bhagavad Gita says? Adhashvordhvam prasrutas tasya shakha. Its branches grow below, downwards, and in all directions. Adhas cha urdhvam. It goes down also, goes this way also, that way also, all direction the branches are going. And what else happening? Guna pravadha. They are all being fed, watered by gunas. Gunas are Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Sattva-guna. These are the gunas which are watering this tree, because of which it is growing downwards and all branches are going in all directions. And Vishaya Pravalaha. And what are its buds? First flower comes, from there only fruits come. So what is the flower bud here? Vishayas. See, sense objects. All that we see, hear, touch, taste, smell. These are the buds, it seems. Why? From bud it will become a flower. Now it is a bud. Keep feeding it, it will become a flower. Then it will become a fruit. Then karma phala. So from Vishayas only, dhyayate Vishayan punsaha. Keep thinking about the Vishaya, which are like the bud state now. After some time, they will grow into attachment called flowers. After that, action will come, which is called karma. And then karma phala will come. And this tree will keep growing and growing and growing. You will never get rid of it. So it starts with desires, this tree. And grows downwards in all directions. Why? Because we are feeding it with gunas. But there are leaves called Vedas. If we read those leaves properly, understand the truth, we can understand the truth of the tree. So what shall we do with this Ashwatha Vriksha is the next question that you have to ask. See, the other thing that it says is, through the gunas it is being fed and it is growing and the buds are the Vishayas. That is what it says. Then says, Adhascha Mulani Anusantatani. You remember these Ashwatha Vrikshas also have called prop roots. Have you seen the prop roots? They come to support the big, thick branches which cannot bear the weight. So you will see a lot of prop roots come and go and get stuck with the earth. So it says it is growing downwards. It also has prop roots which go and bind to the earth. Though roots are up, prop roots are down. It is binding to the earth. Moolan anusantatani, and that is how karmanu bandhini manushya loke. This I always tell. Karmas bind man to this world. These karmas, like the prop roots that stick to the earth, like that our karmas bind us to this loka. Root is upwards, grows downwards, branches are in all directions, prop roots go further down and catch hold of the earth. That is the idea. So it's an imaginary tree only, it's not the real tree, because the next shloka says that it's an imaginary tree. The tree's imagination is what? Na rupam asya tatopalabhyate. It is said in Bhagavad Gita. I am taking from there. It says its form is never to be seen. If you go out and look for a tree like this, you will never find a tree like this, because it is not a physical thing. It is a subtle poetic way of explaining how we get caught in this world. Though we are born from God, which is like urdhvam, up, and we grow downwards in our mind and senses and body and keep creating karmas, and then because of karma we get stuck in this earth and then we suffer. That is the idea. So how do I get rid of it? It says, na rupam asyeha tathopalabhyate na anto na cha adi cha sampratishta. You can't find its beginning, you can't find its end, you can't find where it is settled. This tree is so strange. How do I find? I don't find, because it doesn't exist physically. Then how do we do? Ashwattamenam suviruda mula, but its roots are very strong, it says. Especially the prop roots. They are very strong and they catch hold of the earth. It means your actions bind you to the world. So, asanga shastrena dhrunena chitva, it says. Through detachment, cut off these roots, he says, so that the tree doesn't keep growing. Because once you cut off the roots, can the tree grow? It cannot grow. Any tree whose roots are destroyed will be destroyed. So that's from root you have to get rid of this tree, it says. And roots of this tree are in desire. From desire everything starts, and then we undertake action. Avidya, kama, karma. And karma phala, then avidya, more kama, more karma, more avidya. It goes on and on. It keeps growing and growing downwards. And then we have so many relationships, possessions, so many things to do, so many attachments. Now we cannot get rid of this tree. So we got stuck in the earth. That is how it says. So what should do? Tatah padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gata na nivartanti bhuya. So go tracing all the way. Where is the beginning of this tree? How did it start growing? It says go all the like ekatma pratyaya sara. Go all the way searching for its origin. Then you will find that actually from the Purusha only it has begun. The Purusha, Brahman only created this Jagat. And then I like a Jiva came here and got stuck. Now my job is to grow back and search back the origination of these things. And then I realize that as long as desires are there, this tree keeps growing out of Brahman. The moment desires are over, the tree disappears, Brahman alone remains. So let me go and find out. It says, Tat parimargitavyam, go all the way to search for it. Where is the origin of all these bondages? And where once you reach, no returning back from there, it says. Means once you realize Brahman, there is no coming back to this earth again. Tameva cha adyam purusham prapadye yata pravriti prasruta purani. From that Purusha only all these activities had begun. Why? The Purusha decided, he was sitting, let me create. And then came Ishvara, and then came Hiranyagarbha, then Virata, then Jivas. And then we all came, and then that is how we are bound by actions. So trace this origin all the way back. So that is why one chart is there. Very nicely it says how from Purusha Prakriti came about. That is, Prakriti means the Ishvara and Prakriti were born first. The thinking Brahman and the potential energy or power of that Brahman, which is called Maya Shakti or Prakriti. From there was born the Hiranyagarbha, from there was born the Virata, and from Virata's mind came the Jiva. Jiva had what gunas were there in all the Jivas, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Sattva-guna, and from the Sattva-guna what has been born, all the mind has been born, and all the other senses, Karmendriya, Gyanendriyas. From the Tamoguna what is born, the physical body is born, Jada. It is not Chaitanya, it's Jada. Means what? All the five senses, the physical sheets, all these are born, they say. And then what else is happen? In between, this is the Rajoguna, which keeps shifting between Tamas and Sattva. It is the action. So if you see, the origin root is Purusha. Now slowly the stem is growing, which is like the Prakriti. Further it becomes Hiranyagarbha. From there comes the Virata, the central core stalk or the stem. And from there the branches sprout, Jivas. And each Jiva has their own further branches of mind, senses, Indriya, Indriyarthebhya, and phalas will come, karma phalas will come, more roots will grow, more attachments will form, and we are stuck. So he says, go tracing all the way back and see where the origin of this is, why it has originated, and you will come to the idea that all these originated from Parabrahman only. So cut off the roots means cut off that desire from which it has arisen, and once you cut off the desire, all that is left is Brahman. So this one word, he has used it so casually, saying that this is Ashwatha tree, very strange in its nature, which grows from top to down, and then we end up in getting stuck to the Maya, samsara Maya. And though how to get rid of it, use the Asanga Shastrena, use the detachment as the sword, and cut off this tree from its roots. No desires, no gunas, no karma phalas, no shoka, no moha, nothing will remain. And what will remain is, you will become one with the Brahman. So this tree is though something which cannot be there tomorrow, because it is Jagat, that which comes and goes. But there is a way to escape that, develop detachment from desires, and this tree will fall off. Otherwise it will bind you. So it says that one from which it is born, tad eva shukram, that one is pure, tad brahma, that is Brahma, tad evam mritam uchyate, that is immortal. The tree is mortal because Ashwatha it is. It may not be there tomorrow. But that Brahman from which it is all originated, it is amritam uchyate, that is immortal. And tasmin lokaha shritaha sarve, we saw it in earlier chapter also, all the lokas are dependent on that truth. Because without that nothing can exist. Without the screen, the pictures cannot exist. Like that, on that, all the experiences of life are dependent. Tadu, that one, na atyeti kaschana, nobody can transcend it. Everything is within its limit. Nobody can transcend and go beyond. That one is etad vaitad. This particular thing that we are discussing is the ultimate Parabrahman. So this is another definition is given, that how Jagat came into existence, how Maya came into existence, then how our desires led us to bondage in the world. And the only way to escape this bondage is to go and cut off the roots through Asanga Shastra, detachment or Vairagya, dispassion, and then you become one with Brahman. So again, to explain this one more concept of Brahman, they have used this particular example. Now we will go to one more. Yadidam kincham jagat sarvam prana ejati nisrutam mahad bhayam vajramudyatam ya etad vidur amritaste bhavanti. It says that now that you know that everything is born of what? The same Brahman. Here they are calling it as a banyan tree. Both are fig species is that. So you can call it Ashwatha, means in Hindu it's known as people tree. Ashwatha vriksha. But they are given the example of banyan tree. Nevertheless, what is important is that the idea that the roots are in Brahman and the branches are growing towards the earth. And to get rid of this attachment to the earth, you have to go and cut off the roots from where. Means what? Yachet, mang manasi pragnya tadyached jnanamatmani jnanamatmani mahatini ached tadyached shantamatmani. This is the idea. Come back from your senses into the mind, into the buddhi, into the higher buddhi, and finally into the shanta buddhi, that is Brahman. This is the way to retrace all the way back and reach Brahman. So that is the idea. Now the next shloka says that Yadidam kincha jagat sarvam. Whatever we see in this jagat, jagat means that which comes and goes. Whatever we see in this jagat sarvam, everything, prana ejati nisritam, is moving. Ejati means moving and is born. Nisritam means born or manifesting out of prana. Prana means, remember in Prashnopanishad, the Rishi says the first thing that Prajapati created was what? Prana and Rai. Also sun and moon. Also energy and matter. So all this is energy only, the same energy, cosmic energy, the bulb, the fan, the light, all is electricity. So prana ejati nisritam. So all this is born out of that prana and are moving around because of prana only, the same prana, not different electricities. Same cosmic prana is making all the things move around in the world. Same thought comes in Ishavasya Upanishad. Ishavasya midam sarvam yatkinchat jagatyam jagat. All this that we see moving around in this world, and even that is not moving, everything is infused with Isha, that Lord, that supreme consciousness. So that is the idea. This whole world is nothing but the play and manifestation of the same prana. Anything that is moving, it is because of the same energy which has come all the way from Brahman only. That is the idea. And what is that prana looks like? Mahat bhayam vajram udyatam. As it's a very scary, mahat bhayam, very, very frightening. What? Vajram udyatam. As if the king holds a vajra, means a weapon. How udyatam lifts and keeps like this. Then what happens? You are very scared of a king like that who is holding his weapon up. It's not in his scabbard, but the sword in his hand. Means anytime he can punish you. That's why he is holding up. So what happens? Ya etad viduh amritaste bhavanti. The one who knows this truth becomes immortal. Very strange poetry. Poetry is here is that Brahman is the Lord. Ishanam bhuta bhavyasya. Isha vasyam idam sarvam. Isha means Lord. How does a Lord stand? Does he stand with folded hands? Does he stand with a namaskar or with hands in the pocket? No, he's a boss. So how does boss stand? With strength and with vigor. And what does he hold? He holds the sword in his hand. Why? If somebody misbehaves, he'll chop his head. See, the poetry is like that. As if a great king is standing with a sword up. And because of the fear of that king, everything is happening in the world. Ejati. Everything is moving around. The planets are moving in their places. River is flowing to the oceans. Rains are coming back onto the hills. Plants are growing. Animals are moving. The whole ecology and balance is being maintained. The whole universal balance is being maintained. As if everybody is minding their business out of the fear of this great Lord who is standing with his sword up in his hand. So fearful is the entire world that they simply obey him. Nobody can talk to him, nobody can advise him, nobody can argue with that Lord. He decides, that's it, and everybody has to follow. So the poetry here says that as if he is the Lord standing with a sword up in his hand, ready to punish anybody who doesn't follow or obey. Because of that, everybody is doing whatever they're doing, everybody is following. The prana, which is one of the aspects, is making all the things move. The energy in the universe is making sure that everything is in order. Look at the universe and its orderliness. That's why Einstein said that this is not possible that such a universe exists. Look a little deep and you say there is an unconscious force behind it. It is not possible. It's a conscious force which knows what should be the size of Earth, how far it should be from the sun, to have an atmosphere, to have life and water on it. And why Mars cannot have it, or why moon should be this way only. All these things are so well planned and so well organized, orchestrated. Look at the orchestra of planets in the sky. How wonderfully everybody goes around in the same orbit. Nobody comes and hits each other. Idea is that somehow the whole universe will become so chaotic, like traffic, like children in the class when teacher goes away. Like people in the office when boss is not around. The chaos in the universe will be so much. If it is not so, it means there is a Lord here, there is a boss here, who is standing with something which nobody dares to challenge, which nobody dares to disobey. As if he is standing with a sword up. That is the power of that Brahman. It is a way of expressing that is the power of the Brahman. As if he is standing with a sword up in his hand, ready to punish anybody who disobeys his laws. That is the idea, that because of his fear, everybody obeys. The sun rises, the moon comes, the rivers flow, the rains happen, trees grow, planets move about in their orbits. Nobody messes with anybody. Why? Because teacher is in the class. Teacher goes out, that's it. Everybody will be found in everybody else's place. Fighting, shouting, yelling. Teacher comes back with a stick. Everybody is in order. So this is the beauty. The orderliness in the universe is attributed to the presence of a very great being who is so powerful that out of his fear, or call it respect, whichever way, the entire universe obeys. Nobody makes a mess. So that is the idea in this sloka, which further gets elaborated in the next sloka. What is the next sloka? Bhayadasya agnistapati, bhayat tapati suryaha, bhaya indrascha vayuscha, mrutyur dhavati panchamaha. So he says all these people do their job. This is just a few examples to tell that how people behave in his presence. Out of his fear, bhaya, bhayat asya, of his fear, agnistapati, fire remains hot and burns. Otherwise fire would have told, I am bored of burning for so long, let me cool off. What will happen to the universe? So fire continues to follow the rule that has been given to that. You have to keep burning till eternity. That is your nature. You better follow that nature. You can't exchange your nature for wind or water and say, enough, I've got bored of burning all the time. Let me become cool. Water, you become fire, I'll become you. It cannot happen. Fire has to remain fire. Heat and light is his property. So why fire remains a fire? Out of his fear. And why bhaya tapati suryaha? Why even sun rises and burns and gives light and heat out of his fear? Because he has put sun there and said, your job is to give light and heat to the world. So don't you misbehave. Then bhayad indrascha. Indra is supposed to be the lord of all the devatas. And devatas means all the organs and things like that. So Indra is also considered as mind. Also Indra is considered as the lord who brings rains. So think from whichever point of view. So even the god of gods are scared of him. That's why they behave. It means even our indriyas which are there, which are also devas, which are indriyas, are born of Indra. So all these also behave. Eyes see, ears hear. No, eyes cannot say, I don't want to see anymore. I want to taste from here onwards. Please put food in me. And tongue says, I want to hear from here onwards. I don't want to eat anything. Nobody can disobey. He has decided. Eyes must see, ears must hear, tongue must taste, nose must smell, skin must touch, and heart must pump the blood, and lung should oxygenate it, and liver should do this, and pancreas that. Nobody dares to say, no, I don't want to do it. Imagine in a class, everybody gives 100 suggestions. Sir, change my seating position. That fellow is always poking me from behind. Sir, I don't want to study this subject. Please change my section to some other subject. All kinds of excuses come and demands come. In front of that Brahman, Surya, Agni, Indra, Vayu, and forget everything, Mrutyu Dhavati, death runs out of his fear, it seems. Runs does not mean that he is literally running away from him. Yes, away from him because he won't get killed. Brahman cannot be killed by Mrutyu. And we also saw Mrutyu yasya upasechanam. Earlier we saw that Mrutyu becomes like a side dish for this. Idea is that Brahman's presence is the reason why everything is happening, everything is in the order, all the devatas and the natural forces, the laws of universe are operational without any confusion whatsoever. Everything is happening because he wants it to happen. If he doesn't want, nothing will happen. And because he is present, like a teacher is present in the class, the whole class is behaving well. And nobody dares to open the mouth and disobey. Why? Because he is holding the Vajra up. Idea is his power is so strong that nobody dares to disobey him. It is one poetic way of glorifying the Brahman's majesty and glory and power. So now you know any experience of life has to be because of Brahman. Why? Because nobody dares to disobey him. Idea is this, Brahman knows what he is doing. So a huge flood comes, he knows why it has come. Why so many huts should get submerged, he knows. When Ice Age was there and ice melted away and dinosaurs disappeared, who decided all that? It was all Brahman's plan only. Dinosaurs didn't decide we want to disappear now. They disappeared. Because Brahman didn't want them anymore. Children are there, remember? You take a chalk piece, give them. On the floor they'll keep drawing something or the other. And then they'll wipe the whole thing and then draw something else. It's play. So you will say, oh, you killed all the flowers and the animals that you drew before. Where did they go? He wiped it all and started drawing something else. Have you seen children? They are never attached. Not I'm saying those who have grown to 5-6 years. Go back to 2-year-old, 3-year-olds. They're so happy. They play with something, they forget after some time. They play with something else. Forget that also. Play with something else. They are never bothered. But problem is with whom? The grown-ups. They get attached to things and bother. So Brahman is not attached to anything. For him, all this is Maya. So he keeps doing things, wiping it off, junking it, starting something else, making that, playing happily. Children playing with sand castles on the beach. Make a sand castle with great effort. Put your hand through this and hand through that. Put a flag on it. Declare it your kingdom. And mother says, enough, dark now, let us go back. They kick the sand castle down and go away. Who should cry for that? Nobody, even children don't cry who build it. If somebody says, no, it's such a beautiful castle they've built, let us preserve it. What preserve it? Can you preserve sand? One wave will come, it will wash it all away. By morning, nothing is left there. Shvobhava, Ashvatha. So that is the idea. Everything behaves according to Brahman's order and decision. And so nothing in life you should think that has happening because of your wish or somebody else's ill will. It's under Brahman's command and control. Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate. That is the idea. That every aspect of life, whatever you are going through, see the hand of God in it. See the greater purpose behind it. See the beauty and the mastery, the plan of Brahman behind everything. Then you will be very happy. Who could stop it? Can anybody stop it? Nobody can stop him. That is how Brahman works. His will, that's it. Nothing, nobody can come in front of him. Agni, Surya, Indra, Vayu, even death cannot dare talk. That's why in the old temples, if you see the pujaris, they will be standing in a position like this. Both hands will be always tied and their hand will be on their mouth, just in case they should not blurt out something, out of turn. So they always keep their hand on the mouth. Why do they stand like that? Out of respect for the deity who is standing there, though you will think it's an idol. How much respect? Like this, always. And how casually we talk about it. Eat one gulab jamun brahmanandam, we'll say. How stupid is that? Drag that Brahman all the way to the level of your belly. Isn't it? How great and glorious is this Brahman and how we treat it. So such a Brahman, you think he'll come and show his face to you? He will say, these people make a joke out of me. Why should I come here? They don't even take me seriously. Of course, they're better than those who don't believe that I exist. They believe I exist, but their understanding of my existence is so poor. They make fun of me. They don't even take me seriously. I don't want to go and reveal myself to them. So those who have this kind of respect for that Brahman and surrender and obedience, to them Brahman will come and reveal. Otherwise, why? That's why I said, unless Paravidya gets over, don't you run away. Because you will fail miserably in that Brahman's test. But if you stay and sustain through these times, he will give you the certificate. What is the certificate? That he will reveal himself to you. In some way or the other, you will have a glimpse, at least a bird's eye view, at least a small little glimpse of what that glory is about. Otherwise, his thing is so cheap. Anything that you want in this world, you have to pay for it, work for it, earn it with the sweat of your brow. And Brahman you want sitting in your place coolly, and Brahman should reveal himself to you, the most precious one. So obviously he will put his price too. If you really want it, then go through whatever he is telling you to go through. So this is the way you must look at that Brahman, so majestic, so great. Because of him, everything runs. The whole world, whole universe is in order out of his fear. All the devatas, including death. When death is afraid of Brahman, why should you be afraid of death? If Brahman is you and Brahman is yours, where is the question of fearing any death? Who can die if he doesn't want? And who can live if he doesn't want? Both is not possible. So leave everything, surrender to that idea of Brahman and live happily. Why live like fearfully? Because death itself is afraid of Brahman, then why are you worried? If you are dedicated, devoted, you are Brahmanishta, Brahmapara, Brahmanveshanamana, all this you are, why should you fear anything? So with that courage you must live in the life. That is why our Upanishads say, Abhihi, Abhihi, Abhihi. Be fearless, be fearless, be fearless, our Upanishads say. Because all the devatas have to obey Brahman, scared of him. Only man has been given this opportunity to realize Brahman. Because man is the best creation of Brahman. He is very happy with man. Unfortunately, now he is not very happy because we are not behaving according to what he wanted. We are doing as we please. We have forgotten the goal of life is realization of Brahman. We are running behind all kinds of Maya. That's why he is unhappy. So once in a while he is going to shake the boat, rock the boat and make you think, what are we doing here? So this is Brahman's idea, and be devoted and dedicated to that idea of Brahman. You have no fear whatsoever.